Hello everyone and welcome back to Make Money Guide. These are the massive differences between a rich mindset and a poor mindset. Different characteristics can determine your wealth. Some studies have revealed how wealthy people think differently. If you're interested in becoming rich, there are things you can do to reach that goal. Today, we're going to be talking about rich versus poor mindset. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notices on so you don't miss any valuable content. Number 9, rich people make their money work for them. The rich realize that you won't build wealth if you're constrained to hourly pay. Everyone has the same allotted hours a day, yet the rich maximizes those hours. In fact, according to the IRS, wealthy people have 7 types of income streams. The rich spend reading business reports of business they want to invest in. They purchase real estate smartly so they can have a relatively passive income stream in an appreciating asset. Their money works for them. Poor people work for money. Poor people spend most of their lives working an hourly wage, entirely dependent on their job. They rely on spending hours in someone else's company in order to get paid. If they didn't work one day, they won't have any income that day. This leaves them vulnerable to the needs of corporations, which means that they don't have a backup plan if they're unexpectedly laid off. Number 8, rich people invest their money. When the rich invest the money, their goal is to win. They want it to grow and are willing to take calculated risks in order for that to happen. The rich mindset focuses on rewards. With every decision in life, there is a potential downside. Instead of letting the negative guide their decision, they don't catastrophize about a potential downturn in the stock market. They let it sit out and potentially purchase more stocks during a downturn. Rich people think of a downturn as a sale in the stock market, while others are bailing and losing fortunes doing so. Poor people put all their money into savings accounts. Poor people will opt for a safer route. Their mentality is to not lose money. By putting their money in a savings account, they ensure they won't lose it in the stock market. What they may not realize is that the majority of savings accounts have an annual percentage yield less than inflation. The average online bank APY is around 2%. The estimated yearly inflation is around 3%. If you have $100,000 sitting in a savings account with 2% APY, you'll earn around $2,000 a year in interest. This doesn't factor in compounding, which would be around $20 or so. If annual inflation is 3%, that 1% difference is equivalent to losing $1,000 every year by having your money sitting in a high-yield savings account. What's even worse, if you compare that to investing in low-cost index funds, if you are average a 5% annual return, that's $100,000 earns around $5,000 every year. That's a $3,000 difference every year. Extra pottle, the two larger balances and the earnings difference is significant. Number 7, rich people are goal-oriented and continue to learn. Warren Buffett reads 5 hours every day. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. Many other millionaires are said to set aside at least 1 hour a day for education. Even if you can only spare 30 minutes every day for continued learning, multiply that by 365. It's 182.5 hours a year, or similarly over a little over 7.5 entire days of reading every year. A typical 3-credit college course is around 45 hours of class time a semester. Reading 30 minutes every day is equivalent to taking 4 college courses. Choosing books that expand your knowledge has a compounding effect. After a few years of focused reading on a topic, you can be similarly equivalent in knowledge to someone who attended a university. Poor people stop learning as soon as they're out of school. Poor people will stop learning once they're done with school. An estimated 24% of adult Americans have said that they haven't read a book in the past year, including ebooks and audiobooks. This number goes up to a staggering 34% when looking at adults who only have a high school degree versus 7% for college graduates. The opposite of growth is stagnation or decline. Without continued education, there's nothing to compound. In some fields, not staying up to date with the latest research and practices will make you obsolete. Number 6, rich people look for solutions and don't complain. Rich people know that building wealth isn't easy. There will be numerous challenges and roadblocks to get there. People who end up rich often don't accept these things as status quo. They shed conventional limiting beliefs in order to find creative solutions to a problem. They're too invested in working towards a solution in order to complain. They know that complaining will not move them forward and is where people stall out on their journey. Poor people find excuses and give up. Building wealth is hard. There's always going to be someone who doesn't agree with your ideas or strategies. Poor people will let the naysayers keep them down. Oftentimes, these people who aren't supportive are also people who have given up or have never even tried. This is commonly referred to as crab mentality. If crabs in a bucket work together, they could easily escape. Instead, they hinder each other's progress. If they can't succeed, neither can you. Those who are unsupportive and who complain may be stuck in this mentality where they are jealous and don't want you to succeed because they didn't. Number 5, rich people take calculated action and use logic. When making financial and business decisions, rich people will use logic. They weigh the pros and cons of a situation before making a decision. Taking calculated actions gives them confidence in their decisions because they've done the background work. They've thought through the various scenarios and weighed the potential outcomes. By having this confidence in decision making, they're able to take larger calculated risks with better payoff potential. Poorer people make financial decisions impulsively and without thinking through the scenario. Poor people will often make decisions impulsively and without forethought. They may invest in a business venture because their friend asked them to, without looking at the business's financials. These impulsive financial choices are based on feelings rather than sound financial practices. The financial outcomes in these scenarios are often negative with huge losses. Number 4, rich people think long term. Rich people are thinking 20 years into the future and not looking for instant success. They know that it takes time and consistency in order to build true substantial wealth. That's why they're purchasing stocks when the market downturns or buying up property when the housing bubble burst. They understand the power of compounding interest, stock market fluctuations, and how to build successful real estate portfolio. You may not see wealth in 5 years, but will see huge growth further in the distance. Poor people are short-term thinkers. Poor people get caught up in instant success. They want to hit it big with one good deal, which is about as effective as playing the lottery. They often live paycheck to paycheck because they need to satisfy their wants now instead of preparing for their future. Number 3, rich people are clear in their goals. Rich people know what they want. They have a clearly laid out path towards their goals. They see obstacles as opportunities instead of roadblocks. They can map out the steps needed to reach their goals and have a clear plan of attack. There is no guessing or hoping that things will work out for them. This enables rich people to take on more calculated risks that have higher payouts. Poor people don't know what they want. Poor people don't have a clearly defined goal of what they want. They tend to focus on what they don't want. This fear-based mentality is limiting and keeps them focusing on the risks. Without having clear goals, they have nothing they're working towards. This doesn't lend itself to wealth building since there is no reason to save. Number 2, rich people take on challenges. Being pushed from your comfort zone and taking on challenges is how all great advancements are made. Rich people understand this and will tackle a challenge even if they are afraid. Poor people run from things that are out of their comfort zone. Poor people don't like the unfamiliar. They are soothed by staying in their comfort zone and see no reason to leave it. If an opportunity presents itself that is a little different or something they hadn't considered before, they most likely will not take on that challenge. Number 1, rich people are innovators and creators. Rich people are the entrepreneurs and innovators of our world. They are creative and constantly looking to create valuable products. Most of their time is spent on innovation and learning, which pays more dividends than constantly consuming. Poor people are consumers. If you haven't created anything and shy away from challenging yourself, the only other thing to do with your money is to consume. Instead of becoming an entrepreneur or learning about the stock market, poor people will spend their time trying to acquire the latest status symbol. Inevitably, poor people spend most of their time money on items created by rich people. While you're here, go ahead and click on one of these 2 videos on your screen. See you there.